is up, everybody? Good Monday evening here on the South Florida Tribune. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel. And as a typical Monday evening concludes, my good friend, Mr. Justin Fiorillio, is always here with me. And we got some fun stuff to unpack, some interesting stuff to unpack, and some sad stuff to unpack. But such is life in the sports world, and we're gonna keep doing all the unique and fun stuff we're doing. But before we get started, do have a new sponsor here on the network. So as for every new episode, it is now brought to you by Fight Wax. Fight Wax is a skincare product that helps treats cuts, swelling, scrapes, and abrasions, rejuvenates and restores stressed skin. It can be used for soreness, stiffness, recovery, designed for athletes and all active lifestyles. Provides a ultra silky, non-greasy feel, deep hydration for everyday skincare. Helps fight dry skin, and can be used for eczema, psoriasis, and other related skin issues. So, guys, make sure you're heading over there. You type in the code, just type in my name, Stephen Rychel. Should give you access to the stuff, and we're gonna get some Fight Wax soap soon. So we got some pet care products, especially for us people who have had pit bulls in the past. This works wonders on them, especially ones that have those are typically fond to the yeast issues. That this is great for those type of animals. So make sure you guys are checking out Fight Wax.
Good stuff. You said it helps with stressed skin. I might need a bottle of that for an Eagles game one of these days, because I think after a game I get pretty stressed. So I could use some of that Fight Wax.
Yeah,
but
man. Listen,
looks
there's
like
all
good
kinds
stuff,
of
bro.
use
Looks
for
like good
it.
stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
but see, you also work out and stuff like that, and you get like cuts, abrasions.
No. I mean, and also, yeah, my hands, I have a bunch of calluses on them and shit. I mean, yeah, I would probably, if I had it on me right now, I would definitely use it. So, shout out to Fight Wax for sponsoring
I
us.
can definitely hook you up with some. I'll talk to Link and see if we can we can hit you with the discount, so we can.
Looks like some pretty fire stuff. Thank you.
Yeah. Listen, I'm all about sharing the knowledge, sharing the wealth, and passing on some information. And speaking of passing on, we're gonna have to have the heavy hearts to kind of start the show. Anyone who's been an Eagles fan long enough knows Kevin Johnson. Unfortunately, he was dealing with a lot of mental health issues. It was believed that CTE led to a situation where he was homeless. He was in a homeless encampment, and he was murdered, for all lack of a better term. Blunt force trauma, some stab wounds and stuff like that. And as always, there's always some idiots out there, right? So obviously, some people who played with him, some people who knew of him, knew about him, had some things to say. I still think, Asante Samuel basically said the NFL players being homeless these days, the NFL has to do better. And I think some people thought that he was talking more along the lines of current players, but in this guy's quote tweet to this post that somebody had shared was basically, like, I make $75K a year for 30 years. That's X amount of $1 million that, players make that in a 3-4 year contract. That, I've never been homeless and never, I work into my 60s and Blasey, like, just making every undersided type of comment that you could potentially make in a situation like this. If you go and look up his career earnings in the NFL, was barely even 500K. He played in those mid 90s. It was before the money really started flowing in for the league minimum really getting up there. So to sit there and make this about a financial issue when, like I said, the reports that are coming out, it's believed to be the reason why he was homeless was, he had some type of TBI. And, we won't know if he has CTE until, autopsies and stuff like that going on. But sitting there and making it about he was poor with his finances type of thing is just beyond disgusting to me. Like, we just lost a former player, somebody who's somebody's somebody's dad. You know, he may or may not have a daughter, son out there, and to sit there and just kind of diminish the tragedy that just happened. It's just, this is why I hate social media. And the Mike Tyson line is right, man. You know, the internet has made too many people comfortable not get punched in the mouth for saying stupid stuff. And this is one of those situations. So, you know, thoughts and prayers go out to his family, his, you know, and all that. But to sit there and do something like that, this is why I hate social media sometimes. But Asante Samuel's right. The NFL does need to do better, and this is not 100% on the NFL's back. Let me say that right now. Obviously, a lot of these guys, they don't know the programs they could have and have access to. We talk about it all the time with Ben, with Marvin, and on this network, and got other guys that we've brought on who's a part of NFLPA, you know, presidents and stuff like that. Like a lot of these guys, they just don't know what they have access to or what they could be helped with, and some of them are too damn proud to ask for the help too. So it's like they don't know that they have some of these resources that could have prevented him being in a homeless encampment. So it's a sad day. And it's just one of those things. I wanted to address it just because of the simple fact that you got people out there running their mouths about this is more of a financial literacy type thing. Well, another thing that the NFL could have did a little bit better job. I'm not sitting there saying, again, this is on the NFL shoulders, because I don't think it is. Yeah. But one of those things where I think, you know, former teammates, you know, NFLPA members should be more aware of where some of these guys are at, and to make sure that they have all the resources that they could potentially be using to keep them out of these type of situations. So what are your thoughts? I mean, because obviously that's a lot to unpack, but I mean, you know,
I echo obviously what you said, Steve. I mean, I'm heartbroken for him and his family, and it's a terrible loss, terrible tragedy. And I absolutely is praying for his family. I tell you this, when it comes to the aspect of mental health and resources and whatnot, I absolutely think there should be some type of place, a facility, a physical place where NFL players, former and current, can literally go, like a safe haven, almost like your secret safe here type of thing, but we'll help you here, and you can feel welcome here, and you don't have to be afraid here. I think that's a good thing. There should also be regulatory emails and like calls sent out where it's like there's information, and almost like a digital flyer sent out with information. And you know, there should be a guy that money literacy, like they should have a guy that helps, and I think a lot of teams do have this, like a guy that helps with classes and players and whatnot, you know, manage their money and whatnot. But they should, because it is a job at the end of the day. It's not just some fantasy world that we're living in where there's these $1 million athletes. Like, this is a job, a career for them. So like, they need some actual money management skills. You know, a lot of them have it. They're all educated and whatnot, but like, it always helps to have somebody like that. So resources like that, and you know, I mean, just making it is available as possible. You know, because this is unfortunately not the first time we've seen this, and you know, it might not be the last. So we just really want to make sure that if you need help, you can find a place to go get it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of these things. I do think they do a lot of symposiums for financial literacy, but like I said, I don't want to attach that to this situation,
right?
Especially with the reports being that, you know, the reason why he was living on the streets was, you know, he was a bit erratic. He did potentially have CTE, and without a doubt, you know, it's a TBI situation where, you know, he has some type of traumatic brain injury. And then you get these people like, oh, well, they know what they signed up for. I'm like, do you think they know what they signed up for in the 80s and 90s? Because this was before CTE was revealed to have any involvement in the NFL. So, and that's when he played in the 90s. So
right.
I don't know if he knew that's what he signed up for. Yeah. But I also, like I said, I don't know if he also knew that there's programs and things in place, you know, in his state that he could have used to help him deal with what he was dealing with, and potentially, like, so he's not living off the street there. So
yeah, you're 100% right. Also, just it made me think of the NBA player who was just homeless recently. Saw him all over social media, Delonte West.
Delonte
Yes,
West, yeah.
Delonte West. So I mean, there you go. I mean, I know it's different sports, different people, different
Yeah, but
circumstances, but it just goes to show you that I mean, you could have a lot
no
of
one's
money.
immune to it. No one's immune to it.
No one's immune to it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
And you just never know where you're going to find yourself, 1, 2, 5, 10 years from now. So just take it one day at a time. And you're right. It's not just about, it doesn't even have to do with money management. It's just about whatever situation or steps that happened that got you where you're at. I mean, if you need the help, then you need to ask for the help. So that's all. That's the most important thing. So, um,
and as we're gonna switch gears here, another one of the ones where we have to hang our heads, and we're talking financial literacy. Well, what about a former Eagle getting attached to financial fraud? As former NFL running back and former Eagle, uh, uh, Wendell Smallwood is now facing a potential 50 years in jail after being charged with defrauding COVID-19 relief programs. Smallwood's 30 years old. About a good
wow.
look.
So that's pretty much your whole life.
Yeah.
And
Especially
that's just
30
crazy. I
and you're
mean,
facing 50 years. Yeah, that's your. He's looking at potentially spending the rest of his time on this planet behind bars. And Wendell Smallwood isn't somebody that played 15, 20 years ago. He's within the last 10 years. Anyone who's been a avid
dude, if you would have told me Wendell Smallwood was on somebody's roster last year, I would believe you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's another one, head scratcher. Oh,
I mean, look, pardon me if I don't know the case. I don't know the law that
we're
well.
We're already getting Eagles fans in
No.
here, right? Eagles keep AJ. I agree with you. I've already sat there and said there's no way with that cap hit that they're going to be able to do it.
Well, it doesn't even matter what you want or don't want. They will keep him because they have to keep him. So you have to go with the mindset that they're going to keep AJ Brown because there's almost like unless there's something crazy. I mean, crazy that happens right now or that comes out. He's not going anywhere because of the cap hit and all this, all that stuff. So,
little Griffith, we definitely need a new OC. That's going to be a tall ask. I did have someone, when me and Ben were talking about it last Wednesday, I was talking about it, and someone was like, "Oh, Reed Blankenship was one of the worst safeties in the NFL last year." I was like, "Wait a minute." Went and hopped on Google. He was like 15th, on PPF. Obviously, not the top of the food chain. But another thing that we talked about was they have 4 picks in the top 100 picks.
Yeah,
I do think they can address the fact that you have you potentially are going to have to let that Dallas Goedert go. And me and you had already talked about this last week on who he could potentially be replaced with. I think you can replace a Reed Blankenship.
Yep.
The Kobe, I already sat there and said I think the ball is completely in the Eagles' court with that, just because he's been hurt 3 of the last 4 years. So it gives the Eagles more firepower to not have to give him this big contract. But Jalen Phillips is an interesting one because even if you don't re-sign him, you get the comp pick for him. Same thing with Jahan Dotson. So you'll get the comp pick for him. So I don't know. It all depends on what JP is going to ask for if they do that. But and
well, that's just it. It's all about the money. And
Eagles draft a cornerback, a guard, a safety, and the defensive end from Georgia. I don't know if we draft a cornerback that high right now. I do think in those top 100 picks that you do get a corner to kind of pair with what you already have here, so you can keep Coop in that slot position. That's also a money thing too. You keep Coop in that slot position, he can't get that top tier money.
Yeah.
So that's on a financial thing. If somebody falls to them, that kind of like where we were last year when we got Jahad Campbell and he fell to us. If you get a top guy like that to drop because there's a run on run on quarterbacks or
speaking of Jahad, really quick, Steve, what are your thoughts on him after a full year?
I don't think he did enough to sit there and say we can let Reed we can let Nakobe Dean walk,
Yeah.
because when Jihad was on, he wasn't making the disruptions that Nakobe Dean was making. I think it's one of those things that you do it by committee, by what you have with Zach Bond, by what you have with Nakobe Dean, by what you have with a Jihad Campbell, by what you have with a Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I think you have a good young nucleus mix that you just kind of do the old baseball thing, and you platoon guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I think in certain looks and certain defenses and certain downs, you have certain guys on the field. And I think that this is a luxury of having when you draft properly.
Right.
So,
well, look, how many years as Eagle fans have we had as like a weak linebacker core, like group, right? So many years, right? So to actually have a group that's like pretty solid is like.
Is it weird that Alex Singleton was getting beat like a mule when he was here, and
he goes to Denver and like
what he's done in Denver over the last 2 years? I was like, where was that guy like 4 years ago? What happened?
No, either building a statue for him already outside Mile High Stadium or something. Alex Singleton is like
going to be doing that, obvly.
No, I know they got bounced, but still, he had a great year.
Yeah, he did, and him and what was it Mafumba or whatever his name is?
Yeah, whatever.
Be
careful not to curse.
They the wood on the backside of that defense, but it was it's definitely interesting to see. So we're going to get into the main crux of this, right? So me and you had already kind of talked about this on Inside the Eagles last week, right? But I wanted to kind of bring up the Jeff Stoutland thing, right? And I think now we were talking about in reference to him not getting the blame he should for the downfall of the offensive line in the running game this year. Well, I'm going to go on another note is I think another reason why we haven't signed an offensive coordinator is because Stoutland's there, because he's the run game coordinator, because he's a guy being retained. I don't have a problem with him still being basically, the coordinator for the offensive lineman. I don't have a problem. I don't think he should be removed from that. But being as how terrible both the line was and the running game was last year, he shouldn't be the run game coordinator. And when you bring in a brand new offensive coordinator from outside of your building, they want to have to be able the ability to hire a pass game coordinator, to hire a run game coordinator. And I'm asking you, do you feel like Stoutland is actually the holdup on why we haven't signed a coordinator? Because everyone else will say, "Oh, it's Jalen's fault, it's AJ's fault." I've heard it's the fans' fault for egging Patullo's house. I've heard every other name under the sun, but Jeff Stoutland is one of the guys that has been retained. So you have to sit there and wonder if by keeping him as the run game coordinator, is he one of the reasons why you haven't signed one of these guys that have been targeted?
Well, I mean, look, it's certainly very possibly true. I think that the fact that the Eagles do consider, Stoutland University and he's a legend and he's, blah blah blah. He probably does have they retain him on the staff year after year. He probably does have a big say in a little bit of the offense when it comes to the line and the run game and whatnot. So I think at the very least in these interviews and whatnot with all these offensive coordinator prospects, there's definitely some like, well, here's Stoutland and here's what we think he might want to do and whatnot. And then they're kind of saying, well, this is what I want to do. And it's like, it might not be meshing, because every time I'm scrolling my phone, I see a new guy got interviewed for the offensive coordinator. And then like the next day it's somebody else. And like, we just don't hire anybody. Like this thing we just keep kicking the can down the road. I mean, really, we can't hire anybody yet. And it does make you wonder like what's going on. But I tell you what though, I don't know. I mean, is just an offensive line guy mostly? I mean, I know he's run game last year, whatever, but just really an offensive line coach that much of a holdup for an offensive coordinator? I mean, really? I mean, but he could be, because we know how this organization works. They give a lot of our big Dom security guy is the most famous guy on the team. I mean, it's just this. It's the way this team kind of operates. It's funny, right? Like power is we're a culture, but we stick. We like who we like, and we stand by who we stand by, right? So, that's a good point. Is it true? I don't know. Maybe 50-50, but it very well could be. So I don't know.
So the other side of this now, while I was sitting there naming off to you all those all the media reasons and the fans' reasons why they believe we're not so. Greg Olson's comments were absolutely great. Like if I'm an offensive play caller, I'm doing everything in my power to get that job.
Yep.
I want the call plays for Philadelphia. It's a great job. I mean, you literally have, for what everyone basically says, is a super team on offense. If you ask anyone outside of Philadelphia, it's a super team, right? Jalen is being carried by the super team. The super team is hiding his deficiencies. I agree with what Greg Olson says because we've already heard, Philadelphia is not a desirable destination. What do you mean? How's the offensive coordinator not a desirable destination? Because at least 2 out of the last 5 years, that position has gotten whoever was in that place a head coaching job in this league.
Yes.
Sykes is still the head coach in Indianapolis.
Kellen Moore. Yeah.
You still got Kellen Moore down there in New Orleans, and he did more than an admirable job with a horrendous cap situation and a horrendous freaking roster.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
I don't think the national look that Philadelphia is not a desirable destination for any offensive coordinator is untrue. What I think is kind of going on is the Buffalo job opened up, right?
Yeah.
Then you have the Miami job opened up, and now after they've already filled that, now the offensive coordinator position needs to be filled there. So other places you think that weren't going to need positions are now pulling guys. So
because we might have all the fancy names and stuff, but you're still an OC at the end of the day.
For me, you already talked about. So I don't want outside of. I've already said I don't want Jim Bob Cooter here. I really don't want Jim Bob Cooter here.
Yeah, other than all the jokes we're gonna make when he gets hired.
I mean, obviously, most of the
Moose was having a field day the other day.
Most of the teenage men are going to be making jokes on it, and apparently, so some of the women are too.
And apparently, 30-year-old guys like myself too. It's a 31-year.
Listen, there's going to be jokes. There's going to be jokes galore if he winds up getting hired as the offensive coordinator here in Philadelphia. But even a couple of the guys that I thought that could be have kind of removed their names from even leaving their current position where they're at. So it leaves you in a situation. I am adamant. I don't want anyone in house. I'm also adamant. I don't want somebody that wants to leave after the season, regardless if you get a deep playoff run, a Super Bowl berth, Super Bowl win, etc. I want whoever's going to be here is going to be with Jalen for the next 2 to 3 years. That's what I want. You need to give him some consistency. I'm going to continue to beat that drum, and there's nothing anyone's going to tell me any differently about that. So. What are your thoughts? Like, who do you think we wound up at the end? Do you really think it's going to be Jim Bob Cooter, or is there?
Well, I'll tell you what. There's an old expression that I know you, Steve, know, and a lot of viewers will know. It goes, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And I don't know, man. I keep scrolling my feed, and there is a lot of these reports that we're going to hire Jim Bob Cooter. It just seems like what it's good. It just sounds like he's the guy, but. Then I also see these other reports that these other names are still popping up, and this thing is like it's like we're on like a freaking like a counter. Like get your counter on the kitchen counter going. You know what I mean? How many days that we haven't hired an OC yet? I mean, really, we're at like.
I don't think it matters when. I honestly think it's probably somebody on the remaining 2 teams' rosters. I think it's someone either in New England or Seattle is probably why, because that's probably the one that they're looking for. You know,
so, good point. Very well could be. Yeah.
I honestly think it's Seattle's offensive coordinator. I honestly do. I think that's the guy that it's going to be. Or actually, that's me willing it into reality.
You want the Seattle offensive coordinator? I got you.
Well, no, I mean, look, like we gotta get off of Philadelphia just for a brief second, because what Sam Darnold has done in the last 2 years is remarkable. if he's not the comeback player of the year, I don't know who else could be, because his comeback story he should have been it last year. It wasn't.
Yeah.
So
I remember Sam Darnold's days with the Jets were just atrocious. They was calling him a bust. He was this, he was that.
But it was the Jets. Like,
yeah.
listen, they've ruined every quarterback that has gone through there.
Yeah.
Ever. Outside.
Yeah.
After Namath won in
Yeah.
the 70s, name me a quarterback that's played well there.
Yeah. Hell, even Aaron Rodgers had a terrible year there, and then he took the freaking
Michael Vick died there.
Yeah.
Everyone forgets about that. Michael Vick died a Jet.
Yeah.
When I say die, meaning his professional career as a quarterback. I'm not.
I know. So Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers both took teams other than the Packers to the playoffs after they had stints with the Jets. That's how bad the Jets are.
I mean, Boomer Esiason died there. I mean,
Antonio Brown's career died there. You remember he took his shirt off and ran off the field there? As he wasn't even a Jet, but it's just.
I mean, listen.
I get what you're saying.
But I mean, spent a year in Carolina. What wasn't the greatest situation was technically everyone's talking about. Oh, this is the first quarterback from the 2018 draft to make it to the Super Bowl. Nuh-uh. He did it 2 years ago when he was the backup for the San Francisco 49ers. Everyone forgets about that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So then after he left the Niners after the Super Bowl loss, he goes over to Minnesota, does what he did last year, and for everyone that sat there and said he was going to do all this stuff and he was going to turn over, he was going to turn into a pumpkin, all this other stuff. Sam Darnold stood up and did what he was supposed to do. So,
yeah.
And I'm going to say right now, I think Seattle wins the Super Bowl. I do. From what I seen, what I seen from Drake May against that defense there in Denver, you think you're going to get any easier work from Seattle? I think he's going to be a deer in the headlights. You got the second year kid going against the grizzled veteran there. I like their defense. I think Seattle does it. I'm going to go away.
Little revenge factor for Super Bowl 49, the Malcolm Butler game, right?
Exactly.
I mean, think about that. If that was us, if we're Seattle Seahawks fans, how bad would we want? We just had it. We had the revenge with the Chiefs last year, so we know what it's like.
That when we got the Patriots for the second time, it was before. So I mean,
we've had it twice. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. So it's one of these things, man. Like, listen, I like Seattle. I think their defense is playing well. I'm not sitting there saying New England's incapable of winning that game, but I like the veteran there. I do. It's Drake May.
I was actually a little on the fence. I was actually leaning towards the upset by going with the Patriots, but then I was actually just talking myself out of it there. I was just talking with you, and I think I'm going to go with Seattle. But I'm there's still some.
I guess I made the case for you there.
Yeah, I mean, I was, but I'm a lot more closer than maybe you are on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know, man. But I do hear you, and I think Seattle's going to probably pull it off. I like that. The more I think about it,
listen, I think they have the better defense. I think they have the more dangerous offense.
Yeah, because it's not just
not taking anything away from Drake May, but
yeah,
listen, when first playoff run, he's literally had the easiest path.
Yeah.
To it, right?
Yeah. So, yeah. I know. I seen the memes. It was like the Mickey Mouse goofy Super Bowl run for the Patriots. And it's like, play this, play to hurt this guy, play nobody with above this record, play this with this.
I mean, how often do you have a game where a quarterback has 7 turnovers to put you into the championship game? I mean, that's just next level gifting, man. So I mean, obviously,
7 turnovers
and their players played a part in that, but they only put up 10 points.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want any coach from that game to be our offensive coordinator.
So, and another thing, man, it's just as we're talking about the playoffs, man, I just want to say, like, we were been pretty hard on Nick Sirianni. I think we have a newfound respect for him because the offensive guru and Sean McVay lays a dud there against Seattle and falls short again. You have Sean Payton, who's supposed to be this great motivator, this great coach. He can win in any situation. He falls short again. And that was another reason why he got ran out of there in New Orleans, is that they would have all these playoff appearances with these great teams, and they'd fall short. Outside of the lone Super Bowl win that he got with Drew Brees, it's been overhyped and underdelivered. So I gotta say that I think we're, despite the fact that we do it by having the strong coordinator to match with what you have with Sirianni, but it's not like anyone hasn't had strong coordinators underneath them to help project them into championship winning situations. Bill Walsh had Belichick, or not Bill Walsh, but Bill Parcells had Belichick.
Yep.
Everyone forgets about that.
I know, right? Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, didn't at one point they have Nick Saban and Bill Belichick on the staff, like as assistants? They were coaches on. You got to do some research on that, but they were assistants for like a half a year in Cleveland, I think, together on the same team. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. Go figure that out.
Oh man! So I mean, you need to have good assistant coaches underneath you to help project you into that tier. So we'll see what happens in 2 weeks when New England takes on Seattle, who's who and what's what. But it's one of those things in here. I think it's going to be after that game is we get our coordinator. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, hey, then if that happens, you're probably right, because that'd be a whole nother 2 weeks or something. So yeah, man, that's just.
Well, yeah, you already have the sports talk radio nuts and the fans going stir crazy already. Are like, we're missing out on the best of the best. Maybe the best is still out there, guys. Relax.
Yeah.
It's not like we're in the March and we still haven't signed an offensive coordinator yet. Okay.
Right. Hey, man, I've been saying it for forever. I want Nick Foles as the offensive coordinator. Oh boy,
that's almost as bad as Philip Rivers getting a head coaching interview for the Bills. I mean, obviously he removed himself from the running after the fact, but the fact that he was brought in for an interview for the Bills is beyond me.
Oh, wow. Well, you saw that Bills press conference. They don't exactly look like they have it together right now. So they're a hot dumpster fire.
The scapegoat there. I don't care what anyone says. He's the scapegoat right now.
I see.
I mean, granted, he was 8-8 in the playoffs. It's you can't talk that away. But when your quarterback again has turnovers like that in the positions he had right there, I don't know how you blame that on the head coach. So
yeah. Well, it's a shame McDermott's a defensive guy, or we'd scoop him up for the offensive coordinator position.
He was already here for a period of time. People forget about that.
No, I do. I remember that. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a defensive guy, though. That's the only problem. Yeah. So there's no point. We already got that side lined up. So looking for offense, folks. Looking for offense.
Yes, sir. We're looking for an offensive coordinator. I stand on my word here. He's whoever he is. He's either coaching for New England or he's coaching for Seattle right now, and I think that's where it's going to be. You can have someone come back and tell me how wrong I am in a few weeks, but we'll see about that. Now, as far as other things, I wanted to touch on some basketball stuff and a quick few baseball topics, and then we'll get on out of here. It has came to my attention. Obviously, we were very hard on Joel the first few months of the season, talking about where we could package him up for trades and everything like that. Do you realize Joel Embiid is the third fastest center in the NBA to reach 200 career 30-point games, only trailing two Hall of Famers, which would obviously be Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Do we do we under respect Joel here? Like, or are we just overly hard on him because he's just goofy and he's Joel at times?
Well, I mean, you said he's the third fastest to get to that number, and I'll tell you what, Steve, he'd be the first fastest if he could just stay healthy. But all right, no jokes, because that's the whole point of your question. Your whole point is, are we too hard on Joel Embiid? And I just made a joke about it. So I think that's the whole point. Is well, I mean, it's perspective, right? I mean, does he get a lot of the blame and a lot of the ridicule and the jokes and whatnot? Yes, but I mean, he also, I mean, he's just, you don't wish bad health on anybody, so it's not like he's done it like out of his own fault. But the guy has had a lot of injuries, and he's just not healthy all the time. So it's like, do we under respect him though? I mean, look, I mean, I think when he's healthy, I mean, he's like one of the best players in the league. I think he's a borderline talent wise. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player. I mean, you look at it like that. So, um, but he just needs. He doesn't even need to win a championship. He just needs to kind of get on the doorstep of it and then start getting some more like legacy points, But he needs to
Those
just
legacy type games. And here's another
yeah.
one, right? The only center this season who has 4 consecutive 30-point games, as we were just talking about the 30-point games, as he's the third fastest ever to hit 200, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only center of the season, and we were just talking about it a few weeks ago. Is he the best center in basketball? And listen, going back to what we were just saying, when healthy, I don't even think it's a question that he's the best center in basketball.
Yeah. And he's also like the only player that you have to preface by always saying when healthy. Right? I mean, you don't. Okay, I guess maybe Anthony Davis, but that's about it. I mean, I can't really think of many others.
Davis is a center. I didn't know that.
Anthony Davis. Well, he's more of a power forward, I guess. But
that's what I'm saying. I know he's played center, and then when he was with the Lakers, they made him a center, but I don't think he's a center.
All right. On second thought, Joel Embiid is the only player you have to preface by saying when healthy. But
and I think the only other person to really do, I think, that guy down there in San Antonio, he needs to get a few more years under his belt. I think he's
Wemby,
amazing. Yeah. Wembley can do it, but Jokic has the not only the MVP but the championship over Joel Embiid. So he better watch it that he gets forgotten in this era if he doesn't get to those legacy games that we were just preferencing. Now, talked enough a little bit of Joel Embiid. We do got to give our boy Tyrese Maxey some love, because I don't know if you've seen, after his All-Star announcement came the fact that he's getting ready to launch his own shoe with New Balance. Is this the first time you might actually go and buy a shoe that has been preferenced with a Sixer star since the Allen Iverson shoes?
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta go get some Maxies when they come out, Justin.
I mean, he got the name. It's a cool name. I mean, he's a cool guy. I love the player. I mean, he's presumably going to be around for years and years to come. You might as well. I mean, he's the future, man. Until those Edgecombe 7.5s comes out, then I got to get the Edgecombs. But I'll pick up some Maxis. I'll get some nice. Maybe we'll go with some nice blue and black ones, some red and blue. I think it's some cool colors. But dude, that's sick though. I'll tell you what, it's kind of cool when they go with new. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not too familiar with the shoe game deals with these NBA players, but I don't think New Balance is the most popular brand, right? Like I would think there's other.
I think that's exactly why he went with them.
Right. So I think it's kind of cool when you kind of go off the radar a little bit and pick like a brand that's not, because then you are kind of bringing more brand awareness. You guys are getting mutual benefit out of that, and I think it's I think it's cool that he did that. So.
All right, so two baseball topics, and then our send off before I let the fans know what other interviews that we have situated this week. So, obviously, last week we inducted Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones into the Hall of Fame. Now, we were talking about the numbers with Chase Utley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being as the fact that Beltran is no longer there, Andrew Jones is no longer there, he got 59.1%. He basically only has to make up 20 points next season to get in there. So now I'm going to ask you, is next year the year that we have another Philly going in? And the man Chase Utley gets in.
Ooh.
Because here's the
Well,
thing. I
yeah.
seen something. Will Clark was doing an interview, right? Do you realize there's like 400 plus voters for the Hall of Fame? You're telling me there's 400 people across the United States that are covering baseball? Because I don't see where that's happening. So I want to know how you have these many idiots voting when they ain't covering it, on the basis that it needs to be. To understand what's going on, to be able to have the right to have these votes. But
who are these guys? Yeah,
I want to know who the 400 plus guys are that are able to vote. I need to know.
Well, I mean, shit, dude. If you get the power to have a vote and we don't, then we should be able to know who you are. Like, reveal your name. Like, I think that's for all sports too. But
So we're doxing MLB Hall of Fame voters now. Is that what we're doing?
well, look, some of those are probably like amazing historic elite guy. But like you said, there's 400 of them, and it's like, who are they? You know.
I don't see 400 plus people covered baseball every year.
I don't see 400 people in the stands at athletic games. So what do you?
Why is the Athletics catching strays right now?
They have because when you think of empty stadiums, what's the first stadium that you think of? That damn A stadium, right? All those empty people.
The Rays. No, it's the
Rays.
Rays.
The Rays. All right,
or the Marlins. I don't think of the A's. It's probably because the A's were so good during the 80s and 90s, and even go back to the 70s, man, because they just had some great players, but they just haven't found the success that they had in the 80s, 90s, and a bit of the early 2000s. But
true that.
It is what it is. And speaking of it is what it is, I warned you that Harrison Bader was not coming back to Philadelphia, and the Giants picked him up for a 2 year.
That was quick.
Today. So it is literally Justin Crawford's job to lose right now, as far as who's going to be the starting center fielder for the Philadelphia Phillies as of this very moment.
Well, darn! If only the Phillies would go out and make a move.
But Dom said we're good. He said he wasn't signing nobody. He ain't signing pitchers. He ain't signing position players. Man, what are you gonna do?
Sometimes the best move is no move, according to Tim Brasky.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. I remember when Dynasty Sports had a house.
I don't have them winning the division right now. They're gonna have to show me something.
I mean, look, we got a pretty, you got the Mets, you got the Braves. I mean, you got talented teams and shit. So I mean, it's gonna be tough, man. And look, I remember when Harrison Bader had that signing at Dynasty Sports. I didn't go to it, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, dude, this is awesome. He's a Philly and blah blah blah. And like, dude, it feels like that was yesterday. Now, like a few months later, he's gone. It's like, wow.
That happens a lot. A lot of times, we bring guys in. Next thing you know, you have these companies like Dynasty Sports bring these guys in for signing, and then they're gone the next year. It's not even a second thought. So rough one, but
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But as we're getting ready to wrap this one up, I do want to remind fans that we do have another Philly related interview coming this week, as we're going to be joined by new Temple product. He was going to be a University of Connecticut guy, but with the fact that Jim Mora left the University of Connecticut, Liam Fuller on signing day decided to switch to Temple, and he's going to be joining myself and Ben Wednesday morning from 11 to 1. We're going to talk some football, college football. We're going to talk some Temple football. I told you, man, these Temple kids are getting hot, brother. They have.
Well, you're getting freaking hot finding them to bring on for interviews.
What's that?
I said you're getting pretty hot finding them for interviews to bring them on here, dude. You keep finding all these Temple people.
I try to talk to everybody. I want to I don't care if it's Temple, if it's if it's Oregon, if it's Cal, if it's UCLA, USC, Tennessee. I don't care where they're from.
What's that?
I
You
want
said
to
you
get.
just got Fernando Mendoza on the program next week. Awesome. I'll tune in. I'll tune in.
If I could only be that lucky, man, because he's got one of the best story in sports right now. I mean,
Oh, make the Disney movie already, please.
that's what Marvin said. I mean, how is that not a Disney movie? His parents are University of Miami alumni. Everyone on that team told him no. Cristobal played with his dad. He
Yeah.
told him no.
Yeah.
They didn't even give him a chance to walk on. They were like, nope, 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 nope. And he winds up going to the worst football program in college sports.
Ever, statistically ever.
Yes, exactly. And then not only takes them to the championship, gives them an undefeated season, and wins it in Miami's house. Is with his mom, who's sitting right there, and she's battling MS. His little brother's on the team. Like, there's Disney story written all over it.
I know. And then that's just a football aspect in him, and then you got the whole coach, and he's a whole story too. I mean, it's crazy, dude. It's just crazy. It really is. It actually doesn't even make it doesn't even make it seem real. Like, I'm a Penn State fan, and like Indiana was always, you look at Indiana like, oh, they're a joke. Like, you can get tickets for like $20 to go see Penn State play Indiana this weekend. They suck. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, they're the national champions. What the hell just happened? Like, you know what I mean? It actually is kind of crazy.
It is. It is. You gotta give Indiana their flowers.
But also, I mean, would this ever have happened without the college football playoff? Because I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, that they needed almost all those extra games to just keep getting a chance, I guess. Because like, but maybe not. I mean, they were the 1 seed. They won everything. I mean, it's crazy though. It's a crazy story.
It is. It is. But again, it's going to be one of those things that we'll debate for the rest of the year on what was the best story, and that's going to be kind of hard to beat. It really is. Unless you have some type of wild nonsense happen in one of the other sports where you have some ultimate underdog loser wind up winning a championship. I don't see anyone being able to unseat what Indiana has done. I said, we're early in this year. It should be one of those things that are talked about, but again, we'll see how the year plays out. But that is, like I said, it's going to be you're going to have to take something special to do that. I don't think if Sam Darnold wins or if Drake May wins, that's going to be a bigger story than Fernando Mendoza. I don't think, there doesn't look like there's one in the NBA or the NCAA basketball. Hockey, it looks like it's going to be the usual suspects that, in getting into the playoffs and potentially playing for a chance. So it's like you're going to see a whole lot of the same stuff from these other sports. So I don't see how you're going to beat that as one of the bigger stories in football this year. And we're not even into February yet.
I know it's a good start to the year for sports, but you're right. I mean, already Patriots or Seahawks, pick your winner. It doesn't matter. That's not going to be as good a story as this. So, I mean, it's like, you're right. We're already, I mean, shit, dude, unless the Super Bowl goes to like 17 overtimes or something, and it's like, it's the greatest game ever, then, yeah.
Oh, man. I think it's going to be a defensive battle, and the grizzled veteran is going to do it. But we'll see in 2 weeks. Other than that, turn it over to you. Anything you wanna say to the people? Anything you got going on, content wise? Anything like that? What's going on?
Yeah,
with you?
I mean, just still always looking for opportunities. Certainly with the Eagles games being over, hit a bit of a dry spell with going to the games, of course, and with signings and whatnot for right now. But I know coming up in about a month or a month and a half, they'll have another Philly show. I'm going to head down to that. It's at the Expo Center. Yep. I did mention on the last time I was on the program, but Jordan Mailata, the Eagles tackle, having a NovaCare experience, a haircut experience with him coming up in about a month or two as well. I'll document all that, so that'll be get a haircut with him inside the NovaCare complex. That'll be pretty fun. Just keep looking for opportunities. Got some comedy shows coming up. Working with Justin Brown. I'm going to sometimes he gets some NFL players like to just show up and just attend the comedy show. We had Freddie Mitchell show up to one time, and we had Penn State legendary running back and national champion Blair Thomas show up to the other one. So we have a couple of those coming up, and hopefully some big names can show up and be in attendance and get some content from that. And just working on the shows. This program is doing an awesome job. My show Inside the Eagles with Steve is one of the panelists, and Moose and No Shirt Dom as well. That show's going great. Thanks to the Bacon Shake guys. And tell you what, just trying to stay busy and trying to work on doing some more events with Kenny Yaboa too. He's the Lions tight end, even though he's on injured waiver report right now, but he's still technically, we refer to him as a Lions tight end still technically, but he's been in the league for 5 years, and I've done like 4 or 5 events with Kenny in the last, I want to say, 2 months, and we're working on doing another one here shortly, and can't give away too many of the details, but it's a good charity work, and it involves surprising somebody who's unexpecting the surprise, so it'll be fun. So yep.
Other than that, February 6th and 7th.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have some fun. Was just talking with my man Chris Jensen, who he's fought in the BKFC cage. He does matchmaking across the MMA world. He's actually getting ready to launch a bare knuckle promotion as well. So he's going to be working with us with bare knuckle news, and we're gonna have some fun with that.
Yeah. And I heard Steve's getting in the ring, and he's supposed to fight Johnny the Cannoli. Is that right? Cannoli versus Rychel.
I don't know, man. I may got some weight on him, but I'm not. I don't think I'm going to do that.
Oh, Cannoli's talking shit. I'm kidding.
No, that's my boy Lex Ludlow, and that's what he does. He's getting in there with Zach Kalmus. He's going to be the main event of the undercard, so that's probably the fight I would say keep an eye on. You also have Travis Thompson and Josh Oxidine. Josh Oxidine coming in from BYB, so you should see some fireworks there. I just interviewed Brandon Mayer today. He's actually having a rematch of last year's Knucklemania 5 event that he'd already stopped this guy. He asked for a rematch, so they're gonna run it back. Soto's getting a rematch, and actually the main event for the heavyweight title is actually a rematch as well, because Ben Rothwell and Andrei Arlovsky fought in MMA. So there's a lot of familiarity going on. It should be a fun night of fights. Guys, if you haven't gotten tickets, either reach out to one of the local fighters. I think BKFC was doing a Snowden percentage off for Ticketmaster. And actually, I think Stateside Live just made an announcement that they're going to be giving away 2 tickets at weigh-ins as well. So if you can't physically pay for tickets, there's opportunities to get tickets. Make sure you guys are coming down there for Knucklemania. I know there should be a press conference next week as well, so hopefully me and Justin can get over there and get some more content as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Be at the old racetrack. That's where it should be at. It should be at Parks.
Nice.
That's where they did it last year. We'll say they haven't announced day or time, but it should be within the next week or so. They should announce it. Within this week, should I say? But other than that, another fun episode here on the J&S Philly Sports Stop. I'm Steve. He's Justin. We will catch you guys next week. Make sure you guys are locked in. Have some fun, my friends. Peace out.
Peace.